Hey guys, hopefully this is working. I am just having all kinds of troubles right now. Um, the sun was coming in at a weird angle. You couldn't see anything. Everything was too bright. It was just a mess. So hopefully everything is working now. And I'm waiting for YouTube to tell me that we are live. There's the email. Perfect. Okay, let me know if you can hear me, see me okay, everything. I'm sitting at a weird angle at my desk so that the light didn't get weird. All right. Hey guys, let me know if you can hear me okay so that my microphone is set up right. All right. Hey guys. Oh, okay, good. Everyone's saying it's working. Okay, great. Perfect. Cool. We are good to go. Hey everybody. All right. Tom from Malibu. How's the weather? You know I have to ask. All right, great. Thanks so much, everybody, for letting me know that everything is working. I was a little nervous there for a second. I was scrambling at the last second to get everything in order. Yeah, Tim says new location. Yeah, I moved to a new place. So, new background, and I'm still obviously getting things set up. So everything's a little in flux right now, but we're figuring it out. Yeah, so I wasn't here last week and I'm so sorry about that. I was really not feeling well. It just kind of hit me toward the end of the day on Wednesday and I ended up going to bed at I think 8:30. So I definitely wasn't going to make it through a Q&A, so I'm so sorry for missing it, but we're back. We're good. Feeling a little better. Thanks, John. I'm still not quite 100%, but feeling a little better. Thank you. Pokemon Trainer wants to know what Luke is doing. Haven't talked to him in a few days, so I'm not really sure. But I think that he is doing well. I think that they are also settling into a new place. And he seems happy, so it's great. All right, yeah, let's jump right into it with some Peacock news. So for those of you who don't know, Peacock officially launched today. And there's been a little bit of confusion about that. So first of all, no, they still do not have apps for Roku or Amazon. So if you are using one of those devices, you won't be able to use Peacock on it just yet. They are working out deals. They've been very active on Twitter talking about how they are trying to get deals with both Roku and Amazon, but they are just not quite there yet for a lot of reasons. We actually have a post about that over on Cord Cutters News where I kind of break down the reasons that they don't have those apps up yet. So you can check that out if you have more questions about that. I have not heard any more details about when those might be coming, but hopefully soon. But then again, we've been saying the same thing about HBO Max for a while now, and they don't have those apps yet either. So it's hard to say what the timeline might be. Another question was, what's up with Peacock ad-free still having ads? And I do actually have an explanation for you on that. So Peacock has 3 tiers. They have a free tier with limited content. They also have a premium tier with over 20,000 hours of content. And then they have a premium ad-free experience. Now the problem is that some of these TV shows and movies have licensing issues, streaming issues is what they called it on the Peacock website, and they require ads. So it's just part of the licensing deal with Peacock that some of the content has to have ads. So they have a little note about that over on the Peacock website, which I included in our post with everything that we know about Peacock. And I know it's very frustrating. It's super annoying to pay $5 extra a month and still have those ads, but it should only be a limited amount of content that still has them. Yeah, my question for you guys is, who's using Peacock? Who is watching it? What are you watching? What's going on? I downloaded it last night. It actually launched a little early on Apple devices, so I downloaded it on my phone, but haven't gotten a chance to really watch a whole lot yet. So I'm interested if any of you are using it. Jeff wants to know if Peacock is on the TiVo Stream 4K, and I've heard that yes, it is. Some people over on the Facebook group, the Cord Cutting Tech Support group, have said that they are using it on their TiVo Stream 4K. Chris says with Peacock, they would like you to set up an account to view the free tier. Yeah, you have to put in an email address. I'm not sure why, I guess just to track how many users they have and everything like that. But you do not need a credit card to sign up for the free tier, as far as I know. John says, I just saved Punky Brewster on my Peacock app. That used to be one of my favorite shows when I was growing up. I absolutely loved Punky Brewster. So, yeah, that's what I'm excited about. Ed wants to know Peacock or CBS All Access, and I'm just going to give the standard answer of it's a personal preference. It just depends on what content you're looking for. Do you want NBC shows or do you want CBS shows? If it is a choice between one or the other, it just depends on what you like best. What are you in the mood for? The nice thing about streaming is you can always cancel one and go back to the other for a month and then come back later. Victor says, I watched the first episode of Lost Speedways with Dale Earnhardt Jr. Yeah, that's one of the originals over on Peacock. It looks really interesting. Let me know what you think about it, Victor. Jermaine says, I use the channel section. It's like Pluto TV. I watch the Hell's Kitchen channel and the Nicolas Cage channel. The Hell's Kitchen channel episodes are uncut with profanity. There you go. If that's what you're looking for, we've got good news for you. Tom wants to know what each tier has. What's the difference? I'll actually have a post up tomorrow about what the difference is completely between the free tier and the premium tier. But basically, the free tier just has less content. It has about 13,000 hours of content. The premium tier has about 20,000 hours of content. So just some shows are missing from the free tier, but I'll break that all down tomorrow. Also, I know that the premium tier gets early access to NBC late night shows. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you want to watch that, I believe it's an hour early, then you will need the premium tier. Roy wants to know if Peacock will have new originals. Yes, they already have some, and they have more coming out. Just like with HBO Max, coronavirus really slowed them down in terms of producing some of that original content. So there is more coming, but yes, they do have some now too. Jermaine says the Hitchcock section is great too. You have 16 days to watch movies. I didn't know there was a Hitchcock section. That sounds awesome. James says there's a $4.99 tier and a $9.99 tier. Yeah, so there's a free tier. The premium tier is $4.99, and then you can pay that $5 extra for an ad-free, mostly ad-free experience. Chris wants to know what I think about Peacock not being available on Roku or Amazon Fire TV. I think that it is terrible all around. I think it's bad for Peacock because they're not reaching those 80 million households that use Roku or Amazon. I think it's terrible for Roku and Amazon that they aren't able to offer this new, exciting, fun app. And I think it's especially terrible for us as viewers who would love to watch this content, but we can't watch it on our devices. So all around, I think it's terrible. I wish that they could come to an agreement. Again, we have a post up about what's causing this disagreement between all these companies. But yeah, I wish that they would just get it together and come up with a good deal that works for everybody. Alan says that Philip has a video on 5 things about Peacock on the YouTube channel. Yeah, so if you go over to our main page, the Cord Cutters News YouTube page, you'll find a video from Philip earlier today. He broke down 5 things to know about Peacock on launch day. Jim says, can't wait to watch the new Psych movie on Peacock. Yeah, there have been a few of you in the Facebook group too who have been so excited for this Psych movie, so I'm really hoping that you enjoy it. It looks great for fans of the show. Steven says, I'm watching House before my life group tonight and 321 Penguins as well. I've not heard of 321 Penguins, but yeah, I used to love House, so I might have to do a little marathon of that. Tom says, what is the $29.99 tier versus the middle one? If you mean the $9.99 tier, that just means that you are getting the ad-free experience. If you're asking about the $29.99 a year deal, that was a deal that Peacock was running up until launch day, so it actually ended last night at midnight, where you could get a year of the premium service for $29.99. But that deal ended last night, like I said. Yeah, this is a good question from James. What's the deal with Peacock losing content on day one? I'm like, really? Yeah, that was my exact reaction. It was another thing that was just like HBO Max. As soon as they launched, they immediately announced that they were losing some DC movies and some other content. Peacock did the same thing. They just apparently had licensing deals already out there with some other streaming services before they even had planned to release their own streaming service. So they have to honor those agreements. And so some of the movies, like Shrek is one of them, Jurassic Park is another one, Blair Witch Project, they are losing those titles soon, like the end of this month and the beginning of next month. It's crazy, but yeah, it's always a licensing issue. So super frustrating, really annoying, but we have a list of all of those titles up over at quirkcuttersnews.com. So if you want to check out those movies before they leave the service, it's right around 30 titles that are leaving. Yeah, I saw a couple of you say this, that Locast added more Philadelphia local channels last week. That's awesome. I unfortunately saw a couple of other people saying that Locast has not been working for them, that they aren't able to get all of their channels. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But if you're in the Philly area, definitely check out Locast. It's a really great, technically free option for local channels. They do suggest a $5 donation, which I know is super annoying, but yeah, really good option for local channels, and very cool that they're adding more channels. Is Quibby out of business yet? No, they are not, but my goodness, what a mess Quibby is in right now. Seems like Quibby can't catch a break. We've all been talking about it over here at Cord Cutters News in our newsroom. We've all been sharing Quibby updates with each other and chatting about it. They're not out of business. I think luckily for them, maybe luckily, they started out with a huge amount of money, so they are still up and running for now. They swear that their numbers are better than what's being reported, but I just don't know. We are keeping an eye on it. We will just keep posting, but I don't know. I'm really pulling for everyone to succeed, but it's not looking great for Quibby. Mule Driver Mark wants to know, is there any news on how many subscribers left YouTube TV since the price increase? And no, I do not have those numbers yet, but I'm interested to see if we find out. They have, do they? I was going to say that we should find out during the next earnings call, but that would be for the quarter before this, so I'm not sure how long it'll be before we actually find out those numbers, or if we will ever find out the official numbers. But yeah, I would assume a lot of people left YouTube TV with the price hike. Ricky wants to know, will Roku integrate the Roku channels back onto the guide on Roku TV? So just to catch anyone up who may have missed that story, so those people who were using a Roku TV, whenever you went to if you had an antenna hooked up, whenever you went to the antenna, you would get a live guide with all of your local channels from your antenna. Roku had an update where they were including all of the free content from the Roku channel right into that live TV guide. So it was split about 50-50, I would say, from the feedback that I saw of people who really liked that. They loved having all of their free content in one place. And those people who were not happy about it at all, they thought that it cluttered up their live TV guide and they didn't want all of those Roku channels mixed in. So Roku actually pulled back that update. They took off those Roku channels. So I think that the problem here was that it wasn't optional, that if you wanted those channels gone, you were just kind of stuck with them. There was no way to turn it on or off. So I'm assuming, and I'm not sure, haven't confirmed this with Roku at all, but what I'm thinking is that they will do another update where they make that optional. They make it easy to switch it on or off, but we haven't gotten confirmation either way about that. So we will, of course, post as soon as we hear anything. Yeah, lots of you are saying that you're still using YouTube TV. Yeah, very cool that they added more channels. I know that those were channels that a lot of people were looking for, and there are still more Viacom channels coming too. JJ, this is very cool. I just joined YouTube TV the day that they announced the price hike. Still saving money. That's awesome. Yeah, a lot of people feel the same way. Yeah, we were hearing reports that the average cable TV cost is something like $200 a month. So even with this price hike, you have to compare the two and see if you're still saving money. Jim says, hey Jess, shout out to Sling and their Air TV local channels, seamless integration in the guide and DVR, love it. Yeah, another great thing that Sling did recently is that they announced a price guarantee for the next year. So if you sign up for Sling TV before August 1st, your price is guaranteed through August 1st of 2021. So you will not have to worry about price hikes. So very cool of them to do that, and the timing could not have been better. All right, my chat stopped for a second. Let me see here. There we go. John, yes, I am drinking water. My voice has just been going in and out so much since I haven't been feeling well. So I've got my trusty Core Critters mug here. Been drinking water all day long. John, thank you so much. John says, I like the new setup. Yeah, this might not be permanent. My computer is normally facing a different direction, but the sun was about to go down and it was just hitting me right in the face. So I couldn't see anything and everything was washed out. So we have this for now, and this might just be the permanent setup. We'll see. I like that you can see all of my plants in the background. Amazing Eric says, my YouTube TV subscription will be paused later this month. I'm going to try Hulu Live and get Marquee in time for baseball and the Chicago Cubs. Yeah, again, one of my favorite things about cord cutting is that you can just pause your subscription when you want and pick it back up whenever you're ready. So you can always try out some new things. I personally really like Hulu with Live. I know it's not for everybody, but we all have our own preferences. I really like it a lot. CP Life Vlog wants to know if I like Peacock. So far, yes, but I haven't really taken the time to play around with it a whole lot, so I will report back next week on my experience. Mike D, another one saying that YouTube TV is still cheaper than what he was paying for cable. Yes, I think that a lot of people will find that. It's never good to see a price hike. No one wants to pay more money for a service. But whenever you compare it back to what you were paying, I think most of us will find that we're still paying less. Sleeping Angel says, I love watching Yellowstone every Sunday night. It's great. Yeah, we have a ton of readers who love Yellowstone. That is one of our most recommended shows in the Facebook group, I would say. G Money says, I decided to keep YouTube TV and cancel Philo at the end of the month. It saves me $5, 65 instead of the 70 that he was paying, over 75 saving from cable. Yeah, so that's the thing too. A lot of people had Philo in addition to YouTube TV because it supplemented those channels that they weren't getting with YouTube TV alone. So a lot of people are canceling Philo and saving, like you said, that extra $5. So yeah, very true. It makes a lot of sense. CP Life Vlog says Philip did something. What did Philip do? I know that he made a video, and if that's what you're talking about, yes, you can find it right here on our YouTube channel. He posted a video today of 5 things to know about Peacock. Richard says, Jess, you should be getting rain in the next 36 hours. I had 2.6 inches of rain this morning. Yeah, it's definitely supposed to rain tomorrow, which, not bad. It's been so hot here that the rain is kind of welcome. I'm not going anywhere, obviously. Thanks a lot, coronavirus, so rain is fine with me. Lori, thank you so much for that $5 donation. What app should I use if I want live TV, especially just news, both local and worldwide on Roku? What do you suggest? I would say any of the live TV services, Hulu with Live or YouTube TV. Fubo TV is another one. Vidgo has some local channels. Any of those would be good, and they all have free trials. So I would say try all of them out and find out which one is offering you what you need. I would also say for local news, especially an antenna, will give you a lot of your local channels for free depending on where you live. And one more, I would say there's a free service called Stirr, STIRR. It is great for local and national worldwide news. They have a ton of news channels. You can choose the city closest to you to get a live feed of news in your area. So I would recommend any of those, but really I would say any of those live streaming services are great options. Just use those free trials and figure out which one has what you're looking for. Sleeping Angel said, like I said, I understand the price hike with YouTube TV. They have to make money somehow with the extra channels, and I don't mind if I'm finally getting my Yellowstone. Yeah, that's the thing. Anytime that you ask for more channels, you know it's going to come with a price hike because they have to pay all of those providers for those channels. So it's not ideal, but it is the price that you pay for getting extra channels. Hey everybody, thanks for the compliments on my new office. Yeah, I moved to a new apartment. It had this very cool little extra bit of space, so I'm not stuck in a little corner in my much smaller apartment anymore. I've got this whole office space. It's full of moving boxes. If you saw the other side of the room right now, it's not great, but this little area is nice and clean, and that's what counts because that's what you see. Brett wants to know if there's any difference between Stirr, which I was just talking about, and Pluto. Pluto has a lot more channels. They were bought by Viacom CBS, so they have a ton of CBS channels, a ton of Viacom channels. They've been adding more. They're getting a ton of new CBS channels. The first two came out this week, and more are coming. So Pluto just has a lot more content, but Stirr is really good too. They have a lot of the same channels, a few different ones. I would say check out both. They're both free, so it can't hurt. Tim says, now I can watch Yellowstone on Peacock to catch up. Yeah, with all of this talk of Yellowstone, I think I have to start watching it. John wants to know when Amazon will get Peacock and HBO Max, and that is a great question. I would love to say soon, but we don't know, unfortunately. I've been reaching out to Roku and Amazon, and I'm not hearing anything from either. Alan says Stirr carries a lot of local TV stations, and you can switch. Plus News On 2 is a great source. Yeah, there are tons of free news channels. Definitely check out Roku, the channel store, and just look for local news. You'll find lots of options there. Brian, thank you so much. Glad you're hosting. You are the best and we love you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I really enjoy doing this every week, and I'm always so sorry when I have to miss it. But man, last week I just could not hang. It was pretty bad. I just needed to get some sleep. Alan says CSI and Star Trek. That was the other one. I could not remember Star Trek. I only had CSI in my head. CSI and Star Trek were the first two CBS channels added this week on Pluto TV. More are coming this summer, yes, and we will keep updating. Alan always keeps me in the know when there are new channels to post about. Chris says, oh, another one for Lori. The CBS News app is an option for national and international news, along with some local news from across the country in the same app. Yes, good call. John says, Tim, you have to get the premium on Peacock in order to watch the entire season of Yellowstone. Noted. CP Life Vlog wants to know if you can email me some Peacock recommendations. Yes, absolutely. So another quick note, I'm sure that some of you have noticed this. If you go onto our website and click on the Contact Us button, the emails are not going through for some reason. Our tech team is looking into it, and I know it's annoying, completely annoying. But yeah, you can email me directly. I'm just jess@quirkittersnews.com. So yes, absolutely. Please do email me some recommendations. Jim wants to know why some CBS shows are on Peacock. Which CBS shows are on Peacock? I would say just a licensing thing. Greg wants to know if I know when Fubo is adding ABC ESPN. They said this summer. I don't know that we have an exact date, but I will definitely look into that more. I keep forgetting that that's a thing that's happening. Lilart wants to know if there are any new apps for Roku. I'm not so sure. Definitely check out the channel store and look at their news section, which always has some good stuff. Let me, if I can do this without knocking things over. I'm at a weird angle at my desk right now. Let me see here. Channel store. And we will go to new and notable. And let me just paste this. Maybe. Oh, it's not letting me. Okay, great. YouTube apparently signed me out while we were in the middle of our chat. Okay, but go over to Roku.com, click on the channel store, and there's a section called New and Notable where you can find all of the new apps. Everybody Loves Raymond is on Peacock. Oh, I had no idea. That's really interesting. Yeah, I would just say it's like a licensing situation. Kind of strange that that's happening, but I'm not super surprised. All of this licensing stuff is so strange and hard to wrap your head around. Eric says that August is when ESPN is coming to Fubo. Yeah, I was hearing August too. They were saying toward the end of summer, so that makes sense. Greg, thank you. Yeah, love the view looking out at Cleveland. Very happy to be in the new spot. It's very bright and sunny here. I'm very happy about it. Richard says some of the shows on CBS were produced by NBC. Yeah, again, super weird. I don't understand any of this, but I don't know. It's just hard to keep track of who owns what in the TV world. Jermaine says, is it a coincidence that Peacock TV and HBO Max premiered the night before this chat each week? I think not. I made a few calls, did what I could do. Just kidding. But yeah, perfect timing. John says Carol Burnett show is on Peacock as well. Another like classic TV show that's on there is Murder, She Wrote, which I know some of you are into. So very cool. I'm definitely going to have to check that one out. Undercover Boss is another CBS show on Peacock. Reliance wants to know what channel is Star Trek on Pluto. I want to say it's 109 or 110. Alan, you might know better than me since you are my source of information for that. Lillard wants to know, how is Luke? I haven't talked to him in a few days, but last I heard he was doing great. They're settling into their new place up in Michigan. He seems very happy. Also, once again, you can always find Luke on Twitter over at LukeBK. He's got lots going on over there. Tom says, have you heard any news on the new Google devices? And when is the next Google keynote? So Google, I think recently did an event, didn't they? Perhaps, maybe. Did I make that up? We have a couple of posts over on the site that Philip has been writing. Philip is much more the device person than I am. So they are working on a new device. It's called Sabrina. That's the code name for it, or the device name. And we have some posts over at Quirkiters News if you just search for Google or Sabrina. Diane says, what's going on with Philo? Are there any new channels coming on board? Not a whole lot going on with Philo. They added the Inspiration channel recently. No price increase with that. They're still at $20 a month. Not a whole lot going on over there, but they are a good, reliable service if you are looking for something very affordable and you don't need live sports. Alan says channel 110 for Star Trek. Thank you, Alan. Eric says, Luke makes videos for guy reviews. Luke has an opinion on the coin shortage. Luke has opinions about all kinds of very random stuff going on in the news, in pop culture, all kinds of stuff. So I would definitely recommend checking him out on Twitter or on his YouTube page. Yep, everyone's talking Star Trek over on Pluto TV. They've been adding so many channels lately. Pluto TV is awesome. Yeah, Philo also added Get TV. Thank you, James. Yeah, they added Inspiration and Get TV on the same day. All right. Jason says, you keep skipping my question. I'm sorry, Jason. I completely missed it. Sometimes I start talking and I forget to keep looking at the chat while I'm talking. So definitely ask again. Sorry about that. Hey, Molly. Good to see you in the chat. Jermaine wants to know if it's classic Star Trek, Next Generation, or all of the above. They are starting with... Is it Next Generation that they're starting with? But I think that they're running through multiple seasons or multiple series. John wants to know if Fubo dumped the Turner Network channels. Yes, they did. They dropped them at the same time that they announced the price hike. Not great timing. So, yeah, not great for Fubo, but they were adding, they're adding the ESPN channel soon too to make up for it, I guess. Richard says, Luke did a video about how hot is Starbucks coffee and hot water for tea on Monday. Yeah, man. A little bit different than talking about cord cutting, but I love it. Let's see here. Jermaine says, did Pluto TV have South Park before HBO Max? I think so. I believe so. Streaming Junkie says, I see something different. Where are you at? New York City, Chicago? Nope, I am still right here in good old Cleveland. Just a different little change of scenery. James says, do you think Philo will get any other sub-channels? Cozy, Comet are popular among streamers like YouTube TV, Sling, and Fubo. Yeah, I'm not sure. Even those channels, I believe, cost money, so I know that Philo really wants to keep the cost down. So I'm not sure if they'll add any more right away or not, but we will see. Alan says it's Next Generation on Pluto. Oh, okay. Here's your question, Jason. Sorry about that. Will Roku enable us to add live antenna channels with their live channels on the same guide? So we talked about this a little earlier, but Roku had an update where they were adding the free Roku channels onto the... If you are using a Roku TV with an antenna, they were adding the Roku channels in with your live guide from your antenna. They rolled back that update because a lot of people weren't happy about that. They didn't want the channels all mixed together. So they could do another update where they bring that back and make it optional, but we don't know if they're doing that yet. I don't think that there's an option right now to add your antenna channels into their guide, but it would be the other way around. They would be adding their free channels into your antenna guide. I hope that made sense. I know that was a little all over the place. JJ says, if YouTube TV gets the 3 Hallmark channels, we are off Philo. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that too, and I would not be too surprised to see that happen. Robert says South Park was on Hulu, but not anymore. Yeah, I think that they lost their streaming rights. I think their deal was up. Battlestar says, I bet NBC was planning on making the Olympics a big part of the Peacock rollout, but that didn't happen. Yeah, that was huge. Whenever NBC first started talking about Peacock, they were making sports a huge deal. They were very excited about having the Olympics as part of Peacock. They had all kinds of stuff all planned around it. And as we all know, the Olympics are not going to be happening. So that was a big blow to Peacock. So I know that they are disappointed about that. And I think a lot of us are too. Chris wants to know if I know when YouTube TV is adding the second half of CBS Viacom channels. I believe in August. I'm not sure if we have an exact date yet. Jason, good. Thanks. Thanks for the update. I'm glad that answered your question. Kim says, hi, Jess. I love my Fire Stick. Yeah, awesome. Glad that you found a device that works for you. It's super unfortunate that streaming services like HBO Max and Peacock are not making deals with Amazon just yet. So definitely a bummer that you can't use those, but hopefully soon. Oh man, my chat moved around again. It keeps happening. My Daily Side, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Polly says, is there any news on HBO Max going 4K? So that is what they told me, is that it's on the roadmap, but they don't know exactly when it's going to happen. So they're definitely planning on adding 4K, but we're not sure when. Robert says Hallmark channels are on Friendly TV for only $6. So if you want to save some cash on Philo, instead of paying $20 for that, you could pay $6 for Friendly TV. Thanks, Robert. That was a good point. Tim says next year for the Olympics in Tokyo, though. Yeah, definitely. Hopefully. Gosh, who even knows anymore? Timothy says, did Pluto TV take off its music channels? Yes, I just found that out right before we came in here, so I'll get a post up tomorrow, but yes, they did remove some of their music channels. Apparently they were saying that they just weren't popular, people weren't using them, but I'm not really sure. I'll dig into that a little bit more for tomorrow. Let me make a quick note. Pluto music channels. Jeff, yes, I did get a location upgrade. I moved to a new apartment. Very happy about it. Still in Cleveland, but a little change of scenery. I really did not think about the lighting situation though, and I wasn't thinking that while we're doing this video, the sun is going to be going down, so I know it's been a little funky. Sorry about that. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing here. Yeah, the Dash music channels over on Pluto were removed, yes. Oh, okay, John says September 22nd is when the rest of the Viacom channels were happening. I don't think I knew that. Thank you. Yeah, Streaming Junkie says the athletes must be really gutted. Imagine training for 4 years and then having the Olympics canceled. Yeah, I can't imagine. That's insane. Yeah, super frustrating for everybody, I'm sure. James says curtains. So, okay, I'll tell you a quick little personal story. I moved into this apartment at the beginning of this month, and they do have blinds to go up on all these windows. My windows are humongous, so putting up curtains would be a whole thing. They have blinds, but they are back ordered because of coronavirus. So yes, I will be getting blinds, and that would definitely take care of a lot of the issues in here, but I just have to wait for them to come in, and I'm not super picky, so it's normally fine, but I did not think about our Q&As. Another question about Luke. Yeah, his channel name is Guy Reviews, and you can also find him over on Twitter at LukeBK. My Daily Side says, hey Jess, you got me to switch over to iPhone instead of Android. It just runs better. I love my iPhone. I know some people are tried and true with Android, but I am a big fan of my iPhone. I'm glad you're liking it. Paul, sorry I missed your question the first couple times. I apologize for that. Do you find it weird that Peacock does not have the NBC channel, but CBS All Access has a CBS channel. You know, I'm not sure what the deal is with that when they're planning on adding more. I think that there were still some issues, some bugs to be worked out and things. So I'm expecting that they will add more and that all of this, I think that they have plans to add a live feed. I think it'll just take some time for all of that to get worked out. Sorry, there was a huge plane going by. I just got distracted for a second. Mule Driver Mark says, the window view looks like you are a big news operator. Thank you so much. Wow. My Daily Side says the iPhone just costs too much. Oh my gosh, completely agree. Yep, lots of iPhone love in the chat. I'm sure some of you really love your Androids though too. Robert says Pandora Music. Yeah, so there are plenty of options for music if you are someone who liked those music channels over on Pluto. Pandora's one. Spotify also has a free option if you don't mind some ads. Mars Landing said, I just got a cheap antenna to see what channels I can get, but sadly Roku TV found no channels. Did you do the whole like channel scan situation? I'm not sure. Make sure that it's like hooked up to the TV properly. You should be able to find some depending on where you live. Yeah, iHeartMusic is free, says My Daily Side. Sorry, I'm just reading through some of the comments. I got quiet there for a minute, which is new for me. Yeah, lots of people saying Android is more affordable. I completely get that, and I get that their technology might be a little better in some cases too. I just really love my iPhone. Amazon Music, yeah, definitely. If you're a Prime member, you can get Amazon Music. My Daily Side suggested moving the antenna to a different area of the house. Yeah, that's a good suggestion too. Tidal has 3 months of free music. Yeah, definitely another one to look into. I forget about Tidal all the time. Derek wants to know if Sling TV has a la carte channels. Yeah, they have lots of add-ons, so you have to subscribe to a basic package, either orange or blue, or a combination of both for a little extra money. And then you can choose add-ons. So those range from like $5 to $10 a month. They have one for sports. That's what you were asking about. They have premium channels. They have lifestyle channels. They have kids channels. Definitely a lot to check out over there. I would definitely suggest giving it a try. Linda says, is there a legal requirement for ABC, NBC, and CBS to provide antenna broadcast, or could that end? I don't know if it's a legal requirement, but I don't see that changing. I think it'll always be available with an antenna. I can't imagine they would make you pay for live local channels. Adrian says, when is Stranger Things coming back to Netflix? That is a great question. Let me check. 2021, but I don't know if we have a date. Let me see here. September, nope, not September 30th. That was an old season, but not until 2021. That's what we know. September 2020 was this one. Looks like we don't have an exact date, but sometime in 2021. John, thank you so much. I know I'm still a little bit off. I'm having a hard time keeping it together. I'm just a little all over the place, but thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, Jeff, thank you for calling that out. He says, Jess, to be clear, you do not have to be a Prime member to get Amazon Music. You do get a discount with a Prime membership. Thank you. I did not realize that. I thought you had to be a Prime member. My daily side, no, I have not updated yet, mostly because I am being lazy. Every time it tells me to update, I tell it no. Timothy, no, Stranger Things didn't leave. They were just asking about the next season. It'll be back in 2021 for the next season. My daily side, yeah. So Luke is no longer at Quirketers News. He left whenever he sold the company. He has another channel, which he had before or during his time at Quirketers News, where he was doing like hotel room reviews and stuff like that. It was really fun. So he is still doing those videos over on Guy Reviews. It was another plane. I'm sorry if you could hear it, and also I'm sorry I keep getting so distracted. I'm like a child. Anytime I see or hear anything, I have to look. Brett wants to know if Greyhound is exclusively on Apple TV Plus. Yes, it is. Just a quick note, you do not need an Apple TV to use Apple TV Plus. Tamara wrote a post for Quirketers News about how to make an Apple ID and use Apple TV Plus, even if you don't have an Apple device. Jermaine says I should get cord cutters curtains for my windows. Wow, branded curtains would be a lot. Streaming Junkie, that's a great question. Any updates on when Spacex internet service will be available, if at all, in 2020? We actually have 2 posts going up about that tomorrow, so stay tuned. The first one will be up at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Philip wrote one, and then I have one going up later in the day with a little more information. Just waiting to get a couple of answers on a couple of things before I get that one ready. So definitely check back on the site tomorrow morning. Ooh, Jeff says, Jess, I will tweet you something in a second about Amazon Music. Thank you. Yeah, you guys can find me over on Twitter too. I'm at Just Types if you ever want to send me anything over there. All right, guys, just a few more minutes and then we're going to wrap this up. So if you have any other questions, get them in now. Paul says, do you think it's weird that Peacock launched like HBO Max, but not on the Roku or Fire Stick? Seems to be an issue with new streaming services. Yeah, for whatever reason, YouTube is not letting me post links. But over on Quirketers News, I wrote a post a couple days ago, or maybe just yesterday, about why that keeps happening, about what the issue is between all of them. So it's a money thing, a data thing. There's a lot going on there, but hopefully they will work that out soon. Brett says I have an Apple TV and the app on my Roku. I can watch it, but was just wondering. Yeah, that was just a note for anybody who was interested. We've gotten that question a lot on Facebook recently. Jermaine says, how do we contact you on Twitter again? I am on Twitter at Just Types. So you can find me over there. Or if you send something to the Quirketers News Twitter, that will come straight to me too. Casper says, I installed Peacock and streamed Jurassic Park to Chromecast. It looked great. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Jurassic Park is one of those titles that is leaving the service soon, so I'm glad that you watched it while you could. They're losing around 30 titles at the end of this month, beginning of next month. All right, guys, I think that we're going to end it here. Sorry, I know it's a couple minutes early, but my voice is starting to go. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I'm sorry I missed it last week, but I will try to make sure that doesn't happen again. Thank you so much. It was so great chatting with you guys for a while. Wherever you are, stay safe and healthy, and I will see you again next week. Bye.